The third part of the workflow test for Apple M1 CPU is about the other applications we use. One of the main applications we use in our workflow in Final Cut is iZotope, and it's for noise reduction. And the question is, will this work on the Apple M1 Silicon? When we go to the iZotope portal and see what are the applications we have licenses for, this page is empty. So you can't add licenses or download new applications on this M1 machine. The way to resolve this issue was to download the applications on an Intel Mac and get the serial numbers there, and then transfer this to the M1 MacBook Pro. So now I have it installed, it works, and I have the filters within Final Cut. We have here a clip from a GoPro where we were riding outdoors, and I would like to have a new noise on that, so I can take the RX8 clip, put it on the timeline, and just run it as a default. So it works. I don't have any monitor speakers or monitor headphones, but at least a little bit difference here. So that type of filter works, and that's good. So that is iZotope RX8 elements. We're also exporting the tracks to Pro Tools for editing there in larger projects like this. And the question is, can we run Pro Tools on this machine? I've got an Ultima license trial version, 30 days, and so we installed both iLock for license handling and the Pro Tools application on this machine. This takes a little bit longer to load. It's not as fast as the Apple applications that are built for Silicon. This is an Intel version, and it's not supported according to Avid. So when converting to Pro Tools format, we use 11 GB of memory. I have Final Cut, Pro Tools, and PostLab Extra Pro Audio Convert. What I have here is Saving Mimosa, all the audio tracks imported to Pro Tools, and we have 23 different tracks based on the tracks we have in Final Cut. It's just to continue for the sound editor with his work wherever he is. And we are up to 12 GB of memory allocation when we loaded both Final Cut with the timeline and Pro Tools with the timeline and running the conversion in the background. So far we have not reached the ceiling on the internal memory. And we are up to 12 GB of memory allocation when we loaded both Final Cut with the timeline and Pro Tools with the timeline and running the conversion in the background. So far we have not reached the ceiling on the internal memory. Now Pro Tools and FCPX is still running, so I'm trying to load the systems with more and more applications. It's Resolve 17, the public beta, and I have already imported the XML file from FCP to Resolve. And here we have the timeline. And the filters that we have for text titles, they are not on these systems. This is why it looks a little bit odd. And if we look at the activity monitor, the memory is up to nearly 30 gigabytes, and the processor is 75% of usage right now, when we run both Pro Tools, Final Cut and Resolve in the foreground with this. The timeline for this project is more than 1.5 hours, and the resolution 1080p 4:2, and if I want to export this in ProRes, put it on the desktop, then it will take 20 minutes, 35 minutes on this machine. This is not as fast as with FCPX. So the next is, can we load this machine anymore to import this footage into Premiere? We have it here. Now we're running FCP, Resolve, Pro Tools and also Premiere on the same machine at the same time. And it feels like a little bit slow now. The memory location is still not in the bottom. The CPU is 50 to 80%, and the disk is spinning very much. So the disk is a bottleneck now. And the rendering of Saving Mimosa in progress is running now. It's 1 hour remaining. So it may take. Can the new Apple Silicon computers replace the old Macs that run Intel processor for video editing? This is the question I'm trying to resolve. And the answer for today is that this MacBook Pro 13-inch is not the right computer for me, mainly because of lack of support to more monitors than one. The other question is if Mac Mini is another option for me. It can run 2 displays, so that will be enough. But it can't run all the software yet. So I have to keep my old computer to run some things. I can do the bulk of my video editing with a Mac Mini with 16 gigabytes of RAM. I can run Final Cut, I can run Premiere, I can run Resolve with the type of footage I use. But I can't use Post-Lap Drive when I'm collaborating with others, and I can't do color grading in color final, so I need to keep my 15-inch MacBook Pro for a while.